Hi everybody, McBeard here, back with another Commandos Horn deck guide for you. Into Season of the Bear, this is the meta we will be seeing Gwent Open number 8 being played in, and this is the last meta we will have before the first expansion, which is coming at the end of March, and we've already seen the social media icons of Gwent change. We've seen some red moons, some blood moons perhaps. Oh, how about that? Well, I have some theories about this. There's lots of territory to cover what it could be, because this is going to be a new story within the Witcher universe told to us through an expansion and not an actual game. So hopefully we are as enticed as I think we will be. And I think we will be. I think this expansion is going to give us everything we want and more. But let's talk about right now. Right now, here we are. It is March 1st in the Season of the Bear, and I'm here day one, which was actually yesterday, but day one with the first deck that I'm trying out for my placements, and that is going to be Monsters Average Boys. This is really cool. I saw this list come in from Aifbowman on the TLG at Discord. He said he had a great time doing his placements with this list. So let's talk about Aifbowman, or Aifbowman's Average Boys, because they're not quite big, but they're not small. They're average boys. It's a great name for a deck, and it's kind of it's got really good gameplay, kind of control, kind of tempo. Let's check it out. So this video is on YouTube, and you know how that goes. So if you like the video, show me, tell me. That's all I'm going to say. Let's talk about this deck. As usual, we are focusing on Monster's strong bronze core cards, such as Necker and Necker Warrior, Drowner, and Wild Hunt Rider, and Cyclops, you know, the usual players. But there are some new players into this very sort of, it's kind of fat in the middle, you know? You have a lot of really good synergies here, though, and a lot of ways to keep very good average card strength. A lot of your cards just play for a high value, and you have a very strong short round and a very, very strong bleed potential, which GERNICHORA has always flexed on, so that hasn't really changed here. So of those cards that I already mentioned, these are the powerhouse cards as far as monsters are concerned. Just having multiple Thrive engines on the board is always good. Let's talk about the new additions and why and how this deck becomes more average and less big. Foglets are one of the new additions. When you're running Brewis and you're running Griffin and you're running Cyclops, you have no problem proccing this Death Wish for the Foglet. And it's just another thinning bronze. So you're running Foglet and you're running Wild Hunt Rider for thinning. Necker Warrior completes your 5-piece of 4 provision cards to hold things up at the bottom of the deck. Necker Warrior is just a thriving unit, does what the deck wants to do. 4 for 4 with upside is usually pretty good when it comes to most of these cards. And then we get into the 5s, and it's only being occupied 2 spots. And in the advertising world, when you run splits, it's like running 2 different versions to find out what performs better. So you have one thing that thrives at 5, and it's Drowner. It does damage, it moves things. And you have something else that thrives at 5, which has a 3-point body, does damage. I have found use for both of these. Sometimes I really miss having 2 Drowners, but I love that the Wyvern is in here at the 3 strength mark for these thrives. So I am going to keep an eye on these cards. I feel like it's really going to be a preference thing. There's lots of things to ping it to. Oftentimes you'll use Drowner for removal anyway for the ping it to, but Drowner does have that extra utility of shutting down an Avalock or shutting down a Swordmaster or something like that. Wyvern doesn't really do that for the benefit of having a larger body. I don't know if it's worth it, but I do think that it's cool that the decision is there. Now we get to the interesting cards, in my opinion. The new Ghoul. Ghoul bumped down to 6 provisions, but now can only eat bronze cards, which means that the best play is the Griffin. And why would you be running Griffin and Ghoul together? Well, GERNICHORA always creates the fruit, which the Griffin is happy to snack on. So you have no problem playing the Griffin. There's really no downside to playing the Griffin, especially if you play it early. Thrives a ton of stuff, keeps the largest unit on the board at almost all times, and is great snacks for the Ghoul. And if the Griffin isn't going to do it, the Ice Giant is. Both of these cards thrive your whole board and just generally keep you having strong average plays. Cyclops is your removal piece. Generally, you want to throw a Foglet, but it's good to be able to cover any range from 3 to 6 generally, so you can knock out almost anything. I ran into a lot of Meve, a lot of things that were just out of my reach, so developing your board early, if you have a Cyclops or 2 in your hand, is of the utmost importance, because if you need to react to an engine, but you can't do that because you didn't build up the board for your Cyclops, not only do you have to delay that build up for another turn, your opponent's starting to get value from the engines, and then you're just falling behind. So you can play Wild Hunt Riders early for this reason, to make sure that there's 2 bullets in the chamber for your Cyclops at the front row for his reach, or you can just kind of play the Griffin early, maybe lose some value, but generally keep yourself very threatening, knowing that you can remove anything from your opponent. Going into round 3 with Cyclops is very good for that reason. And then you have the Crones, Weavis, Brewis, and Wispus. Brewis is usually procking a Death Wish, or maybe just eating something off a row that's about to get hit by Crushing Trap, or maybe get something out of a dangerous row, or proc. There's no Death Wish really to proc outside of Foglet, but you'll use it with Foglet. Cyclops more about removal, but you do have enough insurance here for Foglet. Oftentimes, Brewis is just powering up Wispus and Weavis. Sequencing these and preparing your Crones for damage is super important. So when you have nothing to do, think about just playing Brewis. Just play it. So you have at least the 4 ping on Wispus, or sometimes the 6 ping on Wispus. These are great turns in which you don't have to answer something your opponent is doing. Just build those points, baby. Roach helps you do that, always thinning out of the deck. Unicorn Carnex are always the duo you want to see, but there is kind of a hybrid removal aspect to this deck, and the Carnex and Wispus and Cyclops, they all have the ways of managing this removal. Not a lot of locks. The Drowner is disruption, but generally though, I actually seem to have a hard time with Meave because I didn't have enough locks or disruption. But Meave is not the only matchup you're going to see. In fact, I imagine that's rare. But I did get a shutdown on Meave. I did finally get her, so there's that. Finally, Geralt of Rivia. This is an interesting inclusion because usually only monsters are going to see difficulty from this card. However, a lot of people, when you play against monsters, a lot of opponents will use their tactical advantage early on an engine because they want to make sure they have the highest unit to block your riders. So when that happens, you just drop Geralt of Rivia, and the coin is now it's just red coin all day long. You don't have to worry about tactical advantage. You just have to stay ahead, and you can push the round deep, and you're GERNICHORA, and you'll do that. And if you push the round deep enough and win on a card, your bleed game is strong enough that you can just finish off with 2 9-point ghouls if you drew well enough, and just shut down anything that can stand up to anything in a 3-card round. Geralt of Rivia is a really cheeky card that plays into how opponents play against monsters, and I love this. I didn't get it right away until I started playing, and I thought, man, Geralt gets a lot of play in round 1. So check out this game I played with Bowman's average boys. Not quite big, not quite small, just average boys. But above average deck, I would say. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.
What are you doing in my wood?
So what's our plan? Let's get this over with.
That's one of the best things about this card is that it's anti-tactical advantage. Getting value from it against a lot of these decks is against, like, in the mirror, you have a lot more opportunity here, but not against Skytail.
An ill wind.
We should be in a bleed position here, I think, on our buddy O'Bane here. This guy rocking the full-on garb here. This is a good hand. Get rid of Roach, of course. Get rid of one of these, of course. This is looking really good. We can open with so many opportunities here with the early pass. So he used one of his charges, for the record. We're expecting a lot of traps, so we want to do a lot of consume and then keeping units low, so we can time that trap. And I think we just open up with Foglet here. One send it out. The Cyclops or Brewis will help us do that. Brewis also helps us play riders easily. find some points here.
Swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn.
Don't see why we wouldn't be pushing pretty deep here, considering our short round is amazing. We're going to be drawing into ghouls. So there's the crushing trap, I imagine. That's an incinerating trap. Better than
Glediben Bort!
Oh, it's different. It's not what I think it is. Pretty, it's a lot of pressure here. So that's Mahakam Horn, I guess. Or with Gambit. Yeah, we have to pass here, I think. Yeah, we'll see if he can do it. I do like our hand, to be completely honest. So yeah, the horn will get him a little bit there, but he's got a long way to go. 16 points. 16 points. He might have to play 2 cards. He has 6 points of reach, or 7 points of reach. I mean, I know that this crushing trap is gonna... Well, that's probably all that he needs with Eldain. Oh, it's double crushing. Well, that's fine too. I mean, it could have been incinerating trap, but it's fine this way. He's acting first. He's acting first, so that's good. That's good. That's good. Ghoul's good here. Both crushing traps have been played now, so Neckers are more safe, but I think that it's just generally better stuff in our... we have artifact destruction, of course. This hand is actually like pretty much perfect to mulligan both of these cards away, probably. Griffin. Cyclops, no artifact destruction. That's a real bummer.
Let us sing the song of steel!
Something you're going to want to disrupt. Here, and then we have Cyclops ammunition.
A word once given will never break.
At that point, it's pretty hard for a boy to set up here. Do we expect Pitfall? Perhaps. What do we use on Pitfall? It's really hard to, like this could be Pitfall right here. It's really hard to see it, but I think it might be. I'll just play this to see. It's interesting. This would die anyway, right? Oh, it's just... Okay, that's cool. I get some of those points back, sort of, kind of.
None shall tread on us!
Got 3 charges of Eldain right now. You can use one of them, sure. No trap on the board. Good time for me to play probably something really important. Such as the Ghoul. Ghoul getting pitfalled would be really unfortunate. I mean, it looks like Cyclops probably eats the pitfall, just looking that this is the 11 pointer here. I mean, it has to happen, right? Gotta play the big ones when we know there's no pit trap, because this very well could be another trap. I mean, he played Yorvis Gambit though, like he's played the traps. He's played 4 traps. It wasn't 4 traps, right? He might be trying to Eiler in me. I think I might just kill this. This seems fine. I could also just kill it with the Cyclops. How do I want to do it? I definitely lose less value this way, so... And this would slot in the point later. Could thrive either way. Starting to feel pretty good here. We are taking quite a lead, and all of our plays are sizable, I would say. There's another trap. So this seems like this would be the Cyclops play, where I would just throw this into it off. It is the pit trap. Okay. So the cool thing is that it doesn't destroy, even though the deploy effect sometimes goes off or it doesn't go off. That's right.
Piece of Lembas.
Yorva's going to pull that back. So I'll play Ice Giant. I know, I had by so many points, like, it doesn't matter. Giant gets nuked, and then Ghoul, I imagine, would not get nuked, because there's no way to flip that bad boy back over. He's going to have to use all of his Eldain charges. If his last thing wouldn't be a trap either. So the Ghoul is going to take us home with 9 points. And medium-sized boys, average boys. Ooh! Well, oh, we do need to use the Ghoul. Pretty formidable last play. It is a pretty formidable last play, but we have Griffin snacks, you know? We got these Griffin snacks. 9-point Ghouls with 6 provisions? Who would have thought? Not a bad little deck there. People trying to make Eldain work. I salute you, my friends. I salute you. Thanks for watching, guys.